Okay, so for this, well, I guess you'd say grid, I want to center 4 images that are the same size on my 18 by 24 inch drawing paper. The first thing I did was, with the width being 18 inches, with my ruler I found my center point, okay, 9 inches from here to here, okay? In order to get that 9 inches, I'm going to come in using my ruler. You see the end mark. It's not the end of the ruler, but it's that end mark. And in a couple, like 2 to 3 spots, line that up. I'm going to come down till I hit 9. And I'm going to make a mark. You can see my mark right there. And I'm going to do it again. I did it right here. Oops, right there. Measuring in from the edge. Oop, there. So 2 to 3 times. And then that way, you can line your ruler up to those marks. Hold your ruler down firmly and draw a line against the ruler. Okay, so you'll see it, and you can do it light. So that's one. And then I need to find the other direction. So I'm doing the same thing, but for the full length of 24 inches. So my pattern paper is 24 inches. So from your serrated edge or from the other side, whatever you want to do, you're going to go in. So 24 divided by 2 is 12. You're going to go in 12 inches from that mark. Make sure you're going to have to look above it. Don't be sitting down looking at an angle. Go above. You go in to 12 inches. I went from the other side. I went from my serrated edge, so I'm going to do that. And you can see I've got my 12 inch. So I find my center. But again, to get this vertical line, or depending on how you're looking at your paper, horizontal, you're going to have to do that same method, going from the outside edge, measuring in a couple times. I have one mark here, and I have one mark up here, and then again, draw a line through, lining those up. And just draw a line through. That way you have divided your page into 4 quadrants with your center point. This way you can definitely center your imagery no matter what. So your borders here and here will be about the same, and this will be the same as over here. So it's nice and centered. My printout that I have that I'm going to use, that I'm going to repeat as a drawing, is this guy right here. And I printed it out a little bit bigger than what I originally said I was going to do. So this is 6.5. Oops. Okay. What is it? It's 6.5 by 9 inches. This is a good size for this big piece of paper. It's about 9 inches. It's not perfect. I like the scale of it. It's easier to work with than maybe like a 5x7. So you can go bigger. I also printed out full, it's like fill the sheet. It's just on 8.5 by 11. You can see how that is not, you could fit it. It could work, but that's a pretty large drawing, and you may not want to do that. So I leave that up to you. You can go as big as you want. So from here, I want a 1-inch margin. You could go smaller if you want, but it needs to be the same all the way through. And again, from my center point, I just use the ruler and I find my 1 inch. It could be anything. You can see the long marks. And I use the center, like the 1/2 inch mark. It's a little bit off. Not perfect, but you can see. And so from either side, you got half inch, you're going to draw your line. And same thing, make marks. Like I did here, here, and here. I did it here and here. And I think I did it here and here. And then draw your lines through there. You're going to do all of those, okay? So 1 inch centered along that middle line in these sections. And once you have this line, and this, and this, that, the inside margins, you have to find this to get your full proportion down, right? So all you're going to do is you could cut out your image. You could cheat, line it up, and you can make marks along the edge. You want to cut out your piece real carefully. Or you could measure from these lines 9 inches, 9 inches, draw a line through, 9 inches, 9 inches, draw a line through, or you could do 1 and 1, draw it all the way through. So it's nice and even. Same thing, mirror image. This is 9 inches, this is 9 inches. Yours might be smaller or bigger, just depends on your printout. Then this, I've got 6.5, 6.5, draw a line through, mirror image, 6.5, 6.5, draw a line through. So you can see I have my rectangles drawn in, each one, and they're all the same size. When you're done and it looks good, you can erase your margin, all of your setup lines if you want, because you can see like I went beyond. You can erase that, clean it up. Your next step is transferring this, or whatever it is, not my image, but your image, cutting it down to size using another example, graphite stick, cover the whole back to make it like transferable. You're going to tape it. You can tape it on any side, but just one side, so it creates like a hinge. And then you are going to draw all the contours. I didn't do everything, but like lines where you see any kind of light and shadow change, where one object meets up with another one, edges, all of it. I want you to do that, and you're gonna get, where'd it go? Well, you're essentially gonna end up with this. This is just, I did a little bit in the demo in class. There's gonna be a lot more information there, and then you carry on from there.